All right, Broncos! Welcome back to Crossing the Alameda. This show is our excuse to bring back the Santa Clara class of 91. And we are talking about those golden years at Santa Clara, the wild ride since graduation, and everything in between. It's part nostalgia, it's part catching up, and honestly, part celebrating the lives of our classmates that they've built since we cruised out of the mission and into real life. I am Charles, and I'm here with Mike, Carrie, and AJ.
Hello.
Hello,
Good
good to be here.
morning. That Charles getting us out of the gate quick. Hey, I want to welcome our guests today. All right, Broncos, are we ready? I want to introduce Mamma Mia, one of my favorite people at Santa Clara University, Gina Warner. Yeah, Gina is
Yay.
Gina is
So
one of
fun with
many
you.
Omaha individuals who escaped the gray skies of the Midwest and the cornfields for the sunny Mission campus of Santa Clara. She still gets nostalgic when thinking about her SCU days, especially if she hears music by the Steve Miller Band or remembers back to her years living in Swig, Dunn, and Condo 7. That's right. After graduation, Gina started her career in advertising in Chicago, but Denver has been home for the last 30 years. She's raised 3 great kids who are now adults, and over time, she has shifted her professional focus into the Catholic nonprofit sector, where she is currently the chief of staff for the Catholic charities of the greater Denver area. In Gina's free time, she's also equally impressive. She hikes the mountains of Colorado, and she's also, get this, a competitive powerlifter. Woo! She's qualified for nationals and worlds this year. Fino, welcome to Crossing the Alameda.
Oh my God, you guys. So fun. Thank you for having me. This is just it's the perfect entry into our upcoming reunion. I've had so much fun listening to the guests. It's awesome.
Mike, what do we got?
Before
Excellent.
we jump in, I just want to say you just had a wedding too, right? So congratulations. Like your family's
My oldest got married in May to a thickly Sicilian girl who made my family look like watered down Sicilians. So yeah, it was a blast. It was a blast. And it's so fun when your family grows. It's
amazing.
more love for the group. So yeah,
Congrats.
Awesome. Congratulations.
thank you.
Amazing.
Yes, congratulations. That is exciting. So, Gina, what we tend to do on the show is we have a few, we start off with what we call our back then. We try to bring back the nostalgia of Santa Clara. So we'll ask you a number of questions and, they're thoughtful questions, but, if you want to do the guerrilla interview style, that's fine. If you want to take some time to think about it, that's good too. But first off, welcome to the show. We are very excited.
Thank you.
And you guys, when you signed up, all 4 of us are like so excited to see that you're going to come on. My first question to you is, what is a significant memory, perhaps maybe embarrassing or just a happy memory that might make you smile or cringe when you think about Santa Clara?
Okay, well, the cringe one is so easy. My kids make me retell this story to them because it's so humiliating. But I mean, there's so many great memories and embarrassments. I was a victim of the birds in Kennedy Mall, but no, the worst happened to me my very first day of class, freshman year. First, just walking into it was a pretty big class. It was a math class. And the professor's name was Dr. Ross, maybe on the nerdier side of the math continuum, but just walking into a big class where there were guys. I went to a tiny all girl high school. And so there happened to be a lot of handsome California esque guys in the class, athletic. I was just wide eyed. And anyhow, my maiden name is Finocchiaro. It's kind of a mouthful. And my real name is Regina, and so I was used to, when a teacher would take roll, completely botching my last name. And so we all sit down, he goes to take roll, and you know where you are in the alphabet. I hear him getting to my name, and he said, "Well, this is an interesting name. Do we have Regina?" is there a Regina Finocchiaro here? And I mean, he nails Finocchiaro. He nails Finocchiaro. The, the laughter, and if you were in that class, you probably remember it because no one raised their hand because I did not claim it. I just went anonymous. I was like, I am not
I'm
going to be known
auditing.
at this school as Regina. And it just it was the worst way to start my Santa Clara academic life, I gotta tell you. So that was humiliating, and my kids love when I tell that story.
Oh
So
my God.
So
That's
good.
oh my god. It was
Regina,
embarrassing.
Saskatchewan.
Yes,
Regina,
exactly.
Saskatchewan. Maybe
God.
was Professor Ross Canadian? Like Regi- Regina.
I don't know what he was, but we never really got to know each other because I just never, announced myself that day. It was awful.
You're like, I'm gonna audit this class anonymously.
Totally, totally.
I had that same experience from an all-girls school and going to calc class and being like, God, there's guys in this class. This is so
Yeah,
weird. It's so weird.
it was weird.
What was it like? I don't remember because I maybe knew this at some point, but what was it like? Like, did you already have a relationship with Santa Clara, or was it kind of a big deal for you to move from Omaha out to California? Was that all new for you, or did you?
It was totally new for me, and I did not I had applied to Santa Clara, but having been, like, in a high school that was 39 girls in my graduating class, it was tiny. I was so ready to be a number. So I looked at Big Ten schools, and I actually chose IU. I was going to Indiana, national champions, and I had a dorm room, I had a roommate, I was all set up, and my dad, um, I think my dad just had the wisdom to know that me being a number at a big school might not have been the best fit. So he twisted my arm. He made me go look at Santa Clara. And I'm like, it's a waste of your money. Like I don't want to go to a small school. And when the plane landed, I will never forget. Like our agreement was I'm just gonna go look at it. And if I say no after that, then I won't go. Um, but you get off the airplane, like, outside. I mean, that was new to me being from Omaha, and so already I was kinda hooked. But when I walked into those Mission Gardens and I had never seen anything like it, I didn't meet with anybody. I just looked at my mom and said, "This is it. Like, this is where I'm going." But Santa
Gotcha.
Clara, like, there really was a big contingent of Omaha people there. Jenny McCarthy was in my class, Kristen Dvorak. That was 3 of us from that tiny high school, and then, I mean, I could name a lot more, but Omaha is predominantly Catholic, lots of Catholic high schools, and so the Jesuits recruited heavily there. So, if you're from Omaha and you can leave for college, you do. The weather is not graceful there, so yeah, it was all new to me, but I've never looked back. Best decision of my life.
wa- Was it hard as a twin?
Not really, because, there are I have 7 siblings, and we were raised really just as siblings. We weren't really raised as twins. My parents always separated us in classrooms and stuff, and I think my sister would agree that we became a lot more ourselves when we separated for college. Yeah.
Well, I remember her visiting, and that was always really neat. But
Yeah. Yeah. She lives just an hour she lives in Fort Collins, Colorado, so
very cool.
we're, near each other now.
My nephew's at Colorado State. I'm going to send him your way, Gina. You gotta meet my
Please
nephew.
do.
Yep, he
Yeah,
just
I'm
started.
happy to help him anytime. That's a great
You would
school.
love him. By the way, he's also a huge lifter. The kid is deadlifted 550. Like he's a monster. You guys would
Get
hit it
out of
off.
here.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah, we
I'm
gotta
gonna put you on to him. We're gonna hook up a little Colorado action. He would be a
that's
better man
awesome.
for knowing you. Awesome. I love
I
it. I'm gonna
love
do that.
it, and me too. No, I love it. That's awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool. That's right. I do remember that you're a twin. Now I actually have twins. I have twin daughters. So, um, twins are everywhere now, but back then, Mike, you probably remember, like, just getting a lot of attention just for being a twin, something you didn't earn, and I remember kinda wanting to be my own person just for that reason.
I love what you said about the small and the coziness of SU because that was very much my experience also. Because I'm typically one that can, if given the chance, will recede into the background, and you weren't allowed to do that in SU. Who was like your
Right.
favorite professor? Because
Yeah, I love this question, and I think just the question says a lot about Santa Clara. Our professors were part of our experience there. It wasn't like an accessory to college life. It really was part of being a student at Santa Clara were those relationships. And for me, that's a very easy answer just because of the profound impact one professor had on me, and that was Fred Perella in the theology department. I took his intro to Catholic theology class, and it was like running everything I learned in Catholic school growing up in a spin cycle. It was absolutely bizarre that, I was used to like a lot of rules and dogma and how to be pious and all this stuff that it has its place in Catholic education. But when you're 18 years old, that doesn't really stick. And I remember in his class, he told us on day one, you guys are going to get a freakish Catholic theology in this class. So got our attention, but he used that word. It's going to be freakish. And he had us read Franny and Zoe by J.D. Salinger. If you've not read that, or if any of your listeners have not read it and they're maybe grappling with, what do I believe about who I am in the world and all that, it is a very simple and powerful read. And for me, that was my first real exposure to understanding that this religion thing wasn't like just a bunch of rules to try to follow and adhere to. It was about a relationship to be had. And that relationship that he exposed me to eventually caught up with me later in my adult life and probably led to the work I'm doing right now. But then all the professors, I mean, Chris Bakken, Paul Sukup, Tom Shank, they were like our friends. I mean, it was so great to be treated like a peer by our professors. So I could go on and on just about the professors there, but I love that you guys asked that.
that's a wonderful answer too. It's like we've all discussed it, and have been lessons that we've gotten from these professors that we still think about today. And
For
it was just
sure.
a great experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, G, if you could go back to Santa Clara right now, like, what's the first thing you're doing? Like, what would be like a year ago? Like, I'm going back. I mean, I love the story of you getting off the plane and just going, I'm hooked. And then, obviously, the Mission Gardens is such
Yeah.
such an iconic. You go, oh, okay, you know, um,
Yeah. I
what
mean,
would you do? What's going
I
on?
gotta go I gotta go look at Swig. I mean, that just seeing it and the smell when you
This
walk in, all of it, everything about it. I'm definitely doing a stint in the mission. One of my favorite places on campus there's a tiny little chapel behind the mission that the Jesuits would do evening mass there. Gigi turned me onto it like my senior year. You could go in there at 5 for, like, a drive-through mass, like 15
Never.
minutes and just a powerful, amazing homily. I would probably, poke my head in there, but for sure, I would lament where Sandwich King was. I would wanna spin the wheel. I would wanna have a grilled turkey and a pitcher of beer with my friends so I would probably be looking out for some of the spots that aren't the same and just kind of, be nostalgic.
Those are good.
I love everything that you just laid down.
Me
Every
too.
single thing.
Those are
Yeah, when
good.
I was there last, I went to the site of Lord Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Had a moment.
Now, the turkey grilled cheese sandwiches. Sandwich King has come up a few times now in the podcast, so I'm
I
I'm
Yes.
have.
good
Oh,
representing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
spinning the
was
wheel.
oh my gosh, spinning that wheel. Oh my gosh, so fun.
It's funny
I'm
you
glad
brought up
someone has
the
stood up for
drive-through
Swig.
mass though. Like, you know what? I think what was kind of cool about Santa Clara is you got to navigate your own, religious path, right? Like, you
Yeah,
found out what worked for you, what didn't work for you. Like, I'm with you. I would go to 4:30 on Sundays at the mission, and it was funny. My wife went down with me. We were down in Santa Clara, not during like a school function, and she's like, I want to go to mass at the mission. And we said, okay, let's go to mass. And my wife's not Catholic. My wife's Presbyterian and not a convert, which that's totally good with me. But she is always blown away. She goes, every time I come to mass at the mission, she goes, the Jesuits just knock it out of the park. She's like,
yeah,
every single time, they're not meandering, they're not taking like their message is really whatever message it is, and sometimes it's
yeah,
loaded, but on the whole, it is on point. And she's always like, it's so nice to be like go somewhere and there's a level of clarity and a level of call to action and social justice, but also like not beating around the bush. Like here it is. And so I
yeah,
it I think it's pretty remarkable. I think more people, whatever you're trying to figure out in life, like need kind of more of that, right? But like not not all the noise, just like here's let's be very direct about what's going on. So
yeah,
I don't
and
know.
how great that he, sees outside the prism of all the boundaries of, denominational stuff and is open about going and hearing a message, somewhere else. I think that's we could all do.
Father Cause was the defining individual who my wife felt okay marrying me in the Catholic Church. Like Father Cause,
That's
she and
awesome.
Father Cause had some really spot on, amazing conversations, and she she heard we'd picked Father up one time to bring him to a Santa Clara event. We picked him up at the BART station because that's when he was out at De La Salle, and we picked him up
Yeah.
at the Oakland at the MacArthur BART station. And here's this old Jesuit priest, you know, and we got him in the car, and he'd grown up in Oakland, and we were driving
Oh,
to
wow.
we're going to the city. He's like, that's the house I lived in. And he was telling, that's where my girlfriend was when I was in high school. He
Oh
was,
my gosh.
and there was an insane level of humanity that he expressed. And my wife's like, wow, okay. Not only is this guy's a priest, but he's a human being. But he's a humanist, right? And I think my wife was
Yeah.
so impressed just by going, the he's not hiding behind the collar or hiding behind the veil. Like he's a human being, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. They all, I mean, they sort of, some would say they corner the market on meeting people where they are. There's so many stories we could tell about the Jesuits. But like how great that here you're making this big decision in your life and you engage Father Cause. I think that's really awesome. So
Father Causes like seals the deal, and that doesn't surprise me at all because I think Father always preached about love. I've been to a bazillion weddings with him as the officiant, and he was always, love is, he's always on point about that, and that should always take precedent over anything else. And I think that's just, and I miss him. I think a lot of people miss him, but so shout out to Cause. Thank you, Father Cause, for helping me seal the deal with my wife. I appreciate you very much.
So great.
So, Gina, we all graduate. We think we know everything. We have a plan, maybe even. But what's one thing you would say that you thought you knew about life when you graduated, but you now realize was way off the mark?
gosh. I think that I probably over intellectualize big decisions in my life and probably into my late 30s, early 40s. I wish that I would have understood that my intuition should never be outthought. there are times where, like, in my gut, I knew what decision I should have made, but maybe I didn't like it, and I would kind of think my way to a different conclusion. And I think now, in my mid-50s, I know that, like, my intuition is God's voice for me. And for me, that I don't need data to support when I go with my intuition. And I think back then I wanted to make well-reasoned decisions despite what my intuition was telling me, if that makes sense. Yeah. That's probably what I would tell my younger Santa Clara self.
Nice.
What is that goes really well with our next question, which brings us sort of like more into your journey to where you are now. So on your journey from 1991 to today, like what were the key turning points or unexpected detours?
Oh my goodness. How much time do we have? This is the fun part though, like, as I've listened to this podcast, I love that people are just because I think of our past, us knowing each other in such a formative time, like, it's so easy to skip the bullshit, the nonsense, and just b- get real with each other. For me, obviously, getting married was a big turning point. Having kids, I mean, I had 3 kids in 2 years, and I'm just not naturally the most nurturing person. Like, if you can talk, if you can have a conversation with me, then we're gonna do great. Like, and I heard our friend Eric Ludwig talking about this, like, when your kids, those younger years, like, that was not my jam. And so I really, really struggled in those early years with my kids and found myself trying to offset, just like, give me a plan. Like, tell me what to do. What's the path to get them to sleep through the night? All of that. That's when
Oh,
I
yeah.
realized, like, gosh, I'm wound a little tight here. I gotta chill. The other thing for me, which was a biggie, was I got sober 13 years ago. And that was
Congratulations.
something that, like, looking back, I probably was wrestling with that without knowing I was wrestling with it. It's something I'm super comfortable talking about now. It took me a long time to get comfortable talking about it. Now it's almost like, when you get a zit, like, you notice it, but then you kind of forget about it, and it doesn't really get in the way of me doing what I need to do. But those 2 things were big. Having the twins was a surprise. Like, those were big sort of curveballs for me that, even though it brought some tension in my life, I'm grateful for all of that. I mean, all of that has helped me to be who I think I'm supposed to be growing into.
Amazing.
Awesome.
That's awesome, Mike. Oh, wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I have found, like, through my sobriety that sometimes when I share it, like, I generally follow a principle that if it comes up, I'm not gonna shrink. I'm gonna tell the truth, but I don't need to go out, it's not my identity. I don't need to go out hyping it up, and there's 10 different ways to skin a cat. Some people, maybe it's getting sober one way versus another way. For me, it's been nothing but a blessing and a grace. And I think that, like, when it comes up, it's bizarre. Almost every time I get some consolation that I was supposed to bring it up. Someone will reach out to me later. In fact, when I went through a 12-step program when I got sober, and there were certainly people on my list of amends that were part of my Santa Clara days that I wound up connecting with to make those amends. And I remember on more than one occasion, the person on the other side of me later sought help from me when they were going down their own journey. So, at the time, it may seem like, oh gosh, should I say it? Should I bring it up? I have found that every time, like, it's just, you never know what your
Yeah,
pain can do for someone else, whatever shape that takes, right?
totally, totally.
God bless you.
Could you walk us
Okay.
through it? That's a fantastic story, and that's so inspiring, and for everyone that's going through that. Could you walk us? What's a typical day in your life now? Can you walk
Oh,
us through?
okay. Typical day. I'm an early bird. I like to get up early and get ahead of whatever frisbees are going to be thrown my way. I'm at home working about 3 days a week. I go into an office 2 days a week. I work at Catholic Charities, as you mentioned in the intro, and I support our CEO as his chief of staff. So usually the work day is, blocking, tackling, trying to drive his initiatives further, that kind of thing. But every day at work looks different. And then 3 to 4 days a week, I lift in my free time. So I have a garage gym in my basement. I have a coach I work with once a week. That probably occupies a typical evening. And then, dinner. And usually, like, this is going to age me a lot, but usually before bed, I work on a puzzle. I mean, like, go ahead and
Nice,
wheel me in now,
awesome.
but it's sort of meditative, but it
Mhm.
still has a little glimmer of competitiveness, for me. But I live with my first marriage ended about 5 years ago. I live with my fiance now. We're getting married soon. And so a typical day, includes Mark, but it also includes my ex because we're like best friends now. We
Alright.
have a kind of unconventional situation, but yeah, there's a small circle of people in my life that'll show up on a typical day with phone calls or whatever. So yeah, I would say my life now feels relatively predictable, freckled with some adventure. I love a hike. I have a group of girlfriends here. We like to, do adventurous things together. Otherwise, it's pretty tame.
Sounds great. Sounds
I
well
know it sounds like
rounded.
an ideal day to me.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, at our age, you guys, like, I mean, there's nothing to complain about there when you kind of know what to expect and you can break a sweat a little bit here and there. And
I have to laugh that you said this could age me, like, we're all the same age.
I know, you're right.
So, like, we have this, like, Last Supper puzzle that we're just working on, but because of our vision, like, it's kinda harder to do at night unless we have really
No, totally. We have had to move our puzzle table under a different light, like yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So
you get your
good.
iPhone flashlight
Awesome.
out and you're like scanning for like
Yes.
for the right
Totally.
piece. Like I gotta
Like
find.
at the
I mean,
restaurant. Oh,
what
yeah.
the hell? The restaurant. You're like, oh, show me I'm old. Here, I can't see, like. I love the mood lighting, but I can't see the damn menu. And thanks for the small, like, you know,
Totally.
I
I
know.
get
and
such a warm feeling inside when I see someone do that at a
I
restaurant.
know.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
My
hey,
favorite thing is to just look at
I
them and be
just
like,
came
"What
with
do
a
you
great
recommend?
idea.
I can't read this."
I just came with a great idea,
What?
by the way. This could be our first thing that we could have a cross promo with. We should have a Crossing the Alameda
Oh,
puzzle from Charles's logo.
yeah.
And that would be a super hard
That would
puzzle
be
to
so
Yes.
cool.
do.
Wow.
It's true. All that
Nice.
asphalt.
That's a good
You know,
idea.
it's so funny you brought up puzzles, Gina, because you know, in the work in the part of the computer industry, people get repetitive stress injury. So I did early days of being a manager, dealing with people that were constantly on their machines. I put a puzzle table in my pod for my workspace. So I would make people go
That
out
was really
and
smart.
stop doing typing and go and work. I go, you know what? You need a puzzle break. And so the team used to go, we'd get like 1,500 piece puzzles and people would stop. And then sometimes be like, you need to come back to work because they're like, I know I can find this piece, like there's something
Yeah.
about this puzzling that is just really kind of satisfying, like that's so funny.
No, totally. You're gonna start a trend, AJ, just like I'm thinking, gosh, I should do that at work too. It is a great The other thing is I love something that, like, makes me feel productive when I'm really just sitting there, like folding laundry. I can binge out on a show and fold laundry and still feel like I'm being productive and industrious. So,
I think Gina took my question. My next question was going to be, she already kind of covered like what challenges are you facing since graduating? But I think you clearly covered a wide,
yeah.
gamut of amazing amazing, but really positive outcomes. Actually, I want to ask, tell me, I just want to know, tell me about the powerlifting. I've been seeing you on Facebook. I'm fascinated by just what the thought process was of taking up powerlifting. And as we know, as older people, the best thing you can do is lift heavy weights. Like it is proven, like if there's anything that we should all be doing, throw cardio out the window, get there. And, you know, I'm so impressed. Just tell me a little bit about that journey. It's just so cool.
Well, I love that your question suggests I actually thought about it ahead of time, which I did not do. I did not start powerlifting on a winning streak. Like I tend to jump into things, suck the life out of it, move on to something else. And in my like 20s and 40s, I was running marathons. I loved distance running. That was a big part of my drinking though. And so when I stopped drinking, I realized I didn't really like running. I liked training and drinking with my running friends. And so I did love that running always gave me it gave me something at the end. It just gave me a little bit, I just felt a little bit of a buzz. I did a little of that with CrossFit. I dabbled in other things, but I had been sedentary for a little bit. I had gotten through the divorce and was just looking for a trainer to help me with strength. And I found this kind of scary garage gym across from a strip club with a lot of ink on people, a lot of big muscles. And I had met with a guy there to train me. And I just remember thinking like, this is scary. So I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to do whatever this guy tells me to do. And I had no idea he's a world record holder in powerlifting. I'd never heard of powerlifting. He had to explain what it was to me. So I just slowly, as he trained me, started introducing me to it. And then I started to compete. And it still is that fear. First of all, I mean, you have to wear a unitard. Okay. So, like, you're getting on a platform in a unitard with nothing. I mean, there's nothing left to the imagination. There's an audience, and you're, putting a lot of weight on your back. The squat, deadlift, and the bench press are the powerlifting lifts, and you get 3 attempts of each to get your best, and I just kept at it, and I have found that it gives me that thing that running gave me. Like, I get some sort of physiological something from it. But yeah, I love competing, and I have found there's not that many 56-year-old women that are doing this, so I can actually win medals and go to worlds and stuff like that. So it's my midlife crisis activity, I guess.
Oh
There's
man,
worse
I
things, right?
That's a really impressive one.
I love I love how you leaned into it too. It's like, this is scary. I'm going to work harder. That's fantastic. That's amazing.
Yeah, fear can be a crazy motivator, right? But I am, like you said, AJ, it's kind of the trend right now, and it is mind-blowing seeing the younger women. I mean, there's plenty of men doing this, but I think men have been powerlifting a long time. Seeing the younger women that are, you know, they also like powerlifting helped me resolve a lot of body image stuff too.
Yep.
Everyone knows what weight class you're competing in, so no one gives a rip what you weigh. It also the federation I compete in, there's drug tested. I compete as a drug tested lifter, but there's non-drug tested. So people who want to take performance enhancing drugs, like it's just out in the open. So yeah, that seeing the younger women kind of embrace that as a sport has been really cool.
Amazing. Unreal. I love it.
Well,
Yes.
and Gina, it's been phenomenal. You know, ask you these questions, and your honesty is fantastic to hear for all of us. My question was, you've already kind of covered my question, which is more about like your passion. What's your passion? But obviously, you have you care about your children. You have a passion about that, and how you live your life today. You have a passion about that. Your powerlifting is something that you're passionate about now, which is, again, I think all of us agree this is phenomenal, and you deserve a round of applause for that. I'll let you, if there's something else you want to throw into the mix. Is there anything else that you're really passionate about you wanted to,
You know,
besides your professional life, of course?
Yeah, I mean, my work, I love that I've been able to, my first couple of jobs in the Catholic space were theological, where I was involved in, more of the historical and educational elements of the faith and working with a lot of hefty theologians and content producers. I loved that I got to have influence there just being myself. Like, I love that our church is big enough for the likes of me and, that it's not just about the theology, but now moving over to Catholic Charities and working in, you know, the field hospital, so to speak, it has stretched me and opened my eyes to prejudices I've had, not about people, but about ideas and concepts and positions and stuff. And I just think I'm very passionate about that. Like, how can I grow by exposing myself to something really uncomfortable? How can I challenge my best thinking? That kind of stuff. So, work has afforded me that, and I'm really grateful for it.
I love what Catholic Charities does. I did a lot of work with them in JVC in Washington,
Of
DC.
course. Yeah.
It's they really just embody the most, like, pastoral type of work, that the Catholic Church is known for or should be known for,
That's known
which
for.
is so
Right,
great.
right.
Also, I was just listening to you and thinking, Hefty Theologians sounds like a cool band name. Be
That's
cool, like,
so funny.
Jesuits are so musical, they could do that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you've kinda touched on this because you're listening or because 'cause you're wise, but you keep kinda touching on some of our questions ahead of time, but I wanna ask this again specifically because you're so wise. If you could give your graduating Santa Clara self one piece of advice, knowing what you know now, what would it be?
Just chill out a little bit more. Like, everything's gonna work out. Don't take yourself so seriously. And I mean, I was having plenty of fun at the time, but I was probably thinking too hard about, uh, if I do this, then this, what happens next, versus just kind of letting, like, just row downstream and just let some things play out and be an observer. Step back and just kind of consider what's before you instead of trying to engineer everything.
That's good.
Really good. We've talked with a lot of the people we've interviewed already of the unique challenges we experienced as a class graduating in
Yeah.
91. Were there any skills or things that you, once upon graduation, kind of like, oh, I need to change up this, I need to reset my mind address a particular challenge? Like, what did you have to change any expectations or anything when you after you graduated? It's like you thought one thing was gonna happen, but no, this is the way it is. I gotta
That's a really
reset
good.
and
Yeah. I don't think I knew what I wish I had a more practical idea of what actually happens in the workplace when you work in the field I majored in. So I was a comm major. I knew that, like, I wanted to work in advertising. I had no clue what that meant. I didn't know what
uh,
an ad job really was or what it I just knew I wanted to be in an ad agency. And so internships were not really a thing that I remember back in our college days, the way, like, all my kids had internships every year after, like, each year in college. So I didn't really get much exposure to just the day to day work life and what does that work feel like? And is that field, even though that's a topic I'm interested in, is the work that comes with it what I'm interested in?
hmm,
I hope that answers the question, but I think just more practical knowledge of what the workplace was gonna bring.
no, that completely makes sense. I think I had a similar experience. You get out and think, here I am, I'm ready to work, and
Yeah,
it's like, no, you're gonna start at the bottom, but it's okay. And it's like
yeah.
it's the people you meet and the experiences you have that build up your reputation within the industry and things like that. It's true. I completely understand your answer, and yes, I'm right there with you.
Hey, Gina, this is the last question for the where we're at, but it's you've
Okay.
provided so many just amazing things about, where you've been since 91. I'm so proud of you. I mean, I love how candid you are, how authentic you are. What's
Oh,
the what's the most surprising thing that you've discovered about yourself in the last 30 years? I mean, you've given us a ton, but like at your core, like what's the most surprising? I mean, and I think what's pretty cool is like, I think you've got at least 5 more chapters to write. So like, what's the most surprising thing that you've discovered in the last 30 years?
gosh. Well, I think some of the bumps in the road, I shouldn't say bumps in the road, some of the detours required sort of a radical courage that I didn't know that I had. Now, I didn't necessarily demonstrate that courage gracefully all the time, but I have had to act with courage. I think like we all have. I mean, life is heavy and it throws a lot of stuff at us, but I don't think that's how I would have described myself. I don't think I knew I really had that um as something I could access. So probably that. And also, I mean, just I never could have dreamed I could have so much fun as a sober person. I mean, I thought the fun was gone, and that was why I resisted it for so long. I was like, "The fun is over." But I had a lot of fun for many years, so I'm okay now not having fun. Like, my life is really full and really fun without this thing that meant the entire world to me. So that's been a huge surprise too.
It's
It's
amazing.
wonderful.
Amazing.
Not at all surprised, actually, none of us do. Even if people didn't know you well, courage is something that I think anyone would have seen in you. So I'm glad you see
Oh,
it in
thanks,
yourself.
Carrie.
Speaking of fun, we're at the portion of the fun and fast five. Gina, are you ready for this? We're going to give you 5 quick hitters. You don't
Hope
have the
so.
script. I know you've watched the show, so you may know what's coming, but we're going to hit you with 5 quick hitters, and
Yeah,
Mike's going to start us off.
I know that. Yeah, I don't know if I remember what they all are, but
Oh,
okay.
that's good. It'll be more of a
Fire away.
more impromptu. Yeah. So, if you're going to have coffee with any guest you could invite from
Ooh,
history, or even maybe today, who would that be?
oh my gosh. Okay. I'm probably gonna pick Saint Augustine. I don't know if you know much about Saint Augustine. I read his Confessions, which is his autobiography, and it's jaw-dropping, but he was kind of a derelict, philanderer, like, he was as far off track as you can get, and then he had a major conversion or reversion back to the faith. That's really fascinating to me, what came of his life and all that. I feel like that's a little bit of a heavy answer. I wish I had a fun answer. I Bruce Springsteen would be up there too, like, but he's still living. So I don't
Living's fine.
I think it'd probably have Aston.
That's awesome.
I would like to. I've read or I've read. I've studied St. Augustine, so that's that. That's
Have
yeah.
you?
I hear
Are
you. I
you
hear you on that one.
knowing your situation that we have something in common, Mike, you can probably appreciate it in a different way too.
Absolutely,
You're
absolutely.
also
And then I
I
twins,
would
would
by
love
the
to hang
way.
out with the boss.
You're twins, by the way. You
I
got multiple
know.
things
Yeah,
in common.
So
seriously.
cool.
I'm
We
spinning
do.
right now thinking like twin on twin. It's amazing.
Huh?
I in a discipline situation with my oldest once when he was drinking, he, like, used an argument from Saint Augustine with us. It was so funny. Yeah, I'll
Oh
never
my God,
forget it. I was like,
you're
"Points for that. You still can't go out."
you're in trouble if he knows how to wield Saint Augustine against you. Holy cow.
Totally. We were in trouble. We're past that now. Okay, what are you currently either binge watching or reading?
I'm not the hugest reader, you guys. I am reading a small little book called Out of the Silent Planet by C.S. Lewis. It's like one of his works of it's a trilogy. It's kind of a interesting book. I wish I read more. Not binge watching anything, but I am a binge watcher. I love TV. I think there's great stuff out there. I would say the last thing that we truly binged and I almost needed to recover from when it was over was Pachenko. Have any of you seen Pachinko
Yeah.
on oh,
So good.
yeah, that was amazing. So, yeah, I'm not engrossed in anything else right now, so I'll take recommendations, of course.
What is your go-to comfort food?
Oh my god. I mean, like, we call it Zugu in Sicilian, it's like our family Sunday sauce, so we would go to my nana's on Sundays and have it, and so it's like a heavy, thick, meaty like, on the East Coast, they call it gravy. It's
Mhm.
just like a heavy red sauce that cooks all day, or, like, I'm a sugar person like, anything with butter, flour, and sugar, I'm probably gonna find comfort in.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'm thinking about Suga right
All
now,
right.
Gina.
Well,
Hey,
The
if
best.
you so good. I miss Sunday meals with my nana as well. I get that very very much. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you weren't doing skills don't matter, right? I always think we've got to qualify this. You don't even have to have the chops to do
Yeah, I
it.
remember this question.
If you weren't doing what you're doing now, what's an entirely different career you might have pursued with skills having nothing to do with the ability to go out and do that thing?
I know exactly what I'd love to do, and that would be to do hair for women. Like, love the idea of getting to make people feel pretty and better about themselves and be spoiled for a little bit and getting to talk to I mean, I'm a talker, as if you didn't know, but, like, to get and sit and talk during work. Yeah, no, I don't need anything more intellectually stimulating. I like to do, and I love the idea of
That's cool.
making ladies feel great about themselves.
That is
that's great.
fabulous.
We kinda talked about the powerlifting stuff. I would say the bucket list stuff well, I'm getting married soon, which is fun. It was certainly not on my bucket list to, like, do this a second time. I love marriage, and I had a great marriage for a time, so I'm excited that I'm getting a second go at this. But one thing on our bucket list as a couple is to do the national parks.
Yeah.
We love to hike, and if I could find an RV that, like, had a really nice shower that I could afford and wasn't a burden on the road, that's probably a good couple years of my life. I just wanna cruise around in that and see all I mean, the beauty in this country continues to awe me, and I just can't get enough of going to the national parks and getting to hike and just enjoy the outdoors.
Gina, have you been to
Marvelous.
Zion?
No, been to Zion. I'd love to go to Zion. The last one we traveled to was Olympic, which was like
Yeah.
otherworldly. I mean, I
Yeah,
felt like I was on another planet.
yeah.
Um, and we are not far. I live outside of Boulder, so we're not far from Rocky Mountain National Park. I mean, we're there 40 minutes, so we hike there quite a bit.
A very
Mike and I were
last
both for
minute, I joined
Volcanoes National Park. We think you should go to Hawaii for you should go
October.
see the volcano. It's going off right
That
now
was
too, by the way. If you haven't seen it, it is they had to clear the park out because there's so much lava rock dropping from the sky. It's like on the highways. It's totally nuts. So check it out. It's
wow.
called episode 41 is what they call it. Every time the volcano blows up, it's called an episode. And this
Really?
is the largest episode of all time right now. Yesterday. It was crazy. Like the highest
Goodness.
volcanic.
Wow.
Yeah. Go Google it. Check it out.
Maintain a
And
safe
then get on a
distance.
plane and go to the
I
Big Island.
will. Sounds lovely.
Ugh.
My God, this has been fantastic, Gina. Thank you so much. I mean, I
Thanks
loved
for
your answer.
having
We all loved your answers. You have such, yeah, I don't know, a beautiful insight, and the way you've expressed your ideas is really, really amazing. It's been a
Oh, well,
fantastic
thank you
interview. Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
The relationships at Santa Clara are enduring, and you can tell just from your podcast. I mean, it's just so natural to be around you all again. And what a gift we had. I mean, we had such it was a special time. I love that our generation preceded the internet and all of that. And also that we lived through that transition. You know, we have a before and after. And so maybe that makes our bond thicker because we were all so tight despite not having that kind of accessibility. It was all about physical proximity. So I'm just really grateful. I love that you guys are doing this, and I can't wait to listen to all your other guests as you have them.
Well,
Excellent.
you have been a absolute gift to us and to I know the people who are going to listen to the podcast. It's going to be, it is a gift, and thank you for sharing that with us today. It's been really good. Well, we see you at the reunion.
For sure. Are you kidding? Like,
Awesome.
this sealed it. The Alumni House needs to be giving you guys a kickback because, I mean, come on. This is going to get everyone there.
We hope so.
So, having now gotten through an episode with us, do you recommend other people come on?
My gosh, for sure. Okay, and I will tell you, let me give a teaser. Please keep this in because then it's going to hold your feet to the fire. But the condo girls, my 3 roommates in condo 7, Gigi, Lori, and Shannon, we have a side chat going, and they really want you guys to do an episode on our practical joke wars. I don't know if you remember, we had a practical joke like year with the dive guys, which
I remember.
it was Tom Bannon, Mark Bresnicker, and John Harvey. An example would be one night we had like a senior night out. There was some country western bar in Santa Clara. We did like a senior event
Saddle
there.
Rack.
Saddle Rack.
Was it the Saddle Rack?
That was the Saddle Rack. So we got home that night, walked into our condo, and the entire floor had like 3 inches deep of hay, and there were 3 live chickens walking around. And so it was stuff like that. So we feel like we need an episode just to talk about
Absolutely.
the practical joke war with those
Oh,
guys.
yes.
That is
Sounds
so
like a
good.
s-
We'll get it on the books.
Yeah.
We'll
You
get it
need
on the
to have
books.
all of them on. For sure.
I
Yeah,
just
no,
took-
I
Oh,
will
for sure.
absolutely
It's in my-
recommend it.
I wrote
That's
it
a
down.
great
Look at
one.
Yeah,
Write
Hollywood
it
Squares.
down.
It'll be like Hollywood Squares while there's so many people on the screen. Like, how many
Maybe
people?
that's the
What
live
boxes am I
one.
in?
Maybe that's the one
Oh
we
my
do live.
Oh my gosh, there is still a lot of discussion about who actually won the war at the end. There might have been a lawsuit involved with a landlord, but I'll leave that for when it gets discussed. Yeah.
We could put it up to an audience vote and settle it once and for all.
That's what I'm
I
thinking,
love
Charles. I'm
it.
thinking
I
both.
love it.
It's so good.
So, hey, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Gina, you've been amazing. I love you. Thank you so much for coming on with us. You've been unreal. I mean, thank you. And to all the Broncos listening, please listen, share this with your friends. Obviously, we just want everybody to just enjoy, authentic self and come in and be part of, our extended, massive Bronco family. It is a pretty powerful group. And, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. If you want to drop us a note, please do it. crossingalameda@gmail.com. That's crossingalameda@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time. Charles, take us out.
Oh, just a
All
real quick
right.
note, we also have our Instagram page, Crossing the Alameda, and our Facebook page, which I know we need to, I probably need to get a little work. I promised the work, so I need to get the work done, but we'll get those up and running. But come visit, throw some comments down there. If you have ideas, you can also post there or see us on Instagram.
Love it.
All right. Thank you for listening to Crossing the Alameda, the podcast for the Santa Clara University class of 1991. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos!
Broncos, thanks, guys.
Okay, Gina, stay where you are.